you doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. I'll drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with the umpty. Yo, ladies, oh, how I like to funk thee. And all the rappers in the top 10, please allow me to bump thee. I'm stepping tall, y'all, and just like Humpty Dumpty, you're gonna fall when the stereos pump me. I like to rhyme, I like my beats funky, I'm spunky. I like my oatmeal lumpy, I'm sick with this. Straight gangster Mac. But sometimes I get ridiculous. I'll eat up all your crackers and your licorice. Oh, yo, fat girl, come here. Are you ticklish? Yeah, I called you fat. Look at me, I'm skinny. It never stopped me.
KBLA Talk 1580. Rest in peace, Shock G. Shock G. Greg was such a nice guy. You know, you hear him being goofy, doing Humpty Hump, and doing his other styles. That he's just a really nice person. Rest in peace, Shock G. Crazy, yes, but very kind. And also, like, creative. One of the things I always think about with Shock is, like, how much music we are missing out on because he exited the building early. Speaking of reparations, the leader of the California State Assembly is Robert Rivas. You can certainly email him. You can email your assembly member. You can also just contact random Republicans tomorrow. That vote will be taking place on the floor, full floor of the Assembly. So this is going to be very important. Assembly.ca.gov has a list of all the members and their email addresses. So let's get busy. And speaking of reparations, someone was in the chat. I don't remember who it was because I'm multitasking, saying that we want, it's Selena Rick. She says we want reparations no matter who the president is come November. Very good point. There is only one candidate. Well, no, there's two candidates who have endorsed reparations. One is Dr. Cornel West and Melina Abdullah, third party. But the other is Vice President Kamala Harris. When she was in the Senate, she sponsored the Senate version of H.R. 40, the counterpart to H.R. 40, which is a national federal reparations study. And so if you're looking for signs that someone supports your agenda, Vice President Kamala Harris has given a clear signs about reparations. Is she going to talk about it now? No, not on the campaign trail, nor should she. Just like she should not talk about an embargo. I'm for an embargo. We need to stop sending weapons and money to Israel while they are slaughtering people. The New York Times article today about the children is just made me not even feel like capable of coming to work. It's horrifying. They're talking about at least 20,000 children that they've documented who are now orphaned, running around Gaza with no parents, trying to survive off scraps of food, and highly traumatized, many of them injured by bombs. That must cease. And I understand the perspective that, there's a lot of stalling going on. I agree with that. When we're looking for signs. We're in an election. Politicians are going to say what they say, and they're not going to say what they know they can't say and be elected. If Kamala Harris called for an embargo, she would not be elected. You might feel better. I might feel better. But she would not be elected as President of the United States. If Kamala Harris said, reparations now, all power to the people, you might feel good, Lamert Park might cheer, but she won't be elected. She's made it clear by sponsoring the Senate version of H.R. 40 that she supports reparations, something that Donald Trump has not done. And I hear these, speaking of talking points, I hear these right-wing guys and women saying, but the Platinum Plan is not freaking reparations. First of all, it's not even a plan. It's just a slogan and a few talking points to lure you, sexy red and them, over to the Trump side. And what Don Lemon's been saying is that, a lot of these black Trump supporters believe they'll get another stimulus check. And they don't understand that the Congress has the power of the purse. The Congress passed the bill that gave them stimulus checks. And Donald Trump reluctantly signed that bill and then put his name on the checks to take credit like he always does. Oh, speaking of random Republicans, let's go to Ira calling from LA. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dominique. I'm here to protect black women. And I just wanted to congratulate the Democrats on a great party last week. I mean, that was like a week-long rap concert. That was wonderful. Now, after all the
too bad we didn't have Kid Rock, huh?
Yeah, exactly. You kind of missed out on that one. But listen, you've got another chance. The lesbian energy was very strong. With Michael Obama coming up, he had a great speech. And Kamala's already told black people what she's going to do for them. Nothing. So we've got to keep that in mind. And it's the same thing with the Donald.
You know what? You're not just on talking points. You're way over in conspiracy QAnon land this morning, Ira. You just called the former First Lady and mother of two, Michael, and referred to her as a lesbian, even though she's married to President Barack Obama. And it is a mother of two. And make up your mind, is she a lesbian or a man? It's the disrespect.
I don't think she knows. Listen.
And how do you know this? Have you had sex with her? Did you used to date the First Lady?
I have not. And
okay, so what's your source? If she did you give birth to her? Are you her mama?
I ain't her daddy. I'm a man.
Well, so you say. So Ira, how do you have the audacity to come on here and call and spread these things about the First Lady when you have neither evidence nor authority to do so?
How many First Ladies get down on the floor and give you 20 push-ups and show off their sculpted arms?
Guess what, baby boy? I can do that. I can do it right now. Are you going to call me a man? Maybe you will.
Are there questions about you? I
don't. Not that I'm aware of.
Maybe there are questions about you as well. I don't know.
Okay.
You Democrats are kind of that way.
Okay, so what's a Democrat?
A Democrat is one of those the beggars who were gathered around the trough last week begging for the money. Listen, the only thing Kamala's done
but hold on a second before you start disparaging Kamala Harris. Let's unpack that. The Democrats, as you call us, which I suppose is the mirror image to the Republicans, is we're gathered around the trough asking for money. But why is it that the blue states, the Democratic states, are the ones footing the bill for your poverty-stricken red states that don't want to charge taxes and then want to come with their hands out so the places like California can actually support you because you don't have the money to do it? We're the ones with our hands out when we're your sugar daddies and sugar mamas? Give me a break, Ira.
Because they've got to support all these illegals they're letting in. They let in 10 million.
But my point, it has nothing to do with that. If we decided to support illegals, which I don't even call human beings by that, but whatever, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we're supporting Texas, Louisiana, Wyoming, because y'all don't have enough revenue. This is where we make the money. We're not the ones begging for the money. That would be y'all, while you try to cut services to the poor. It's crazy. All right, Ira, you don't get now. You don't get to come on here and just say, this is a fact-based show. You can't just call the forever First Lady a man, and just it's not QAnon Central over here. If you want to do some of your talking points, at least have the dignity for yourself to come with something that you believe to be factual, that's backed up by some kind of evidence.
Barack Obama's a great beard. That's all he is.
Where's the evidence? Have you slept with President Barack Obama?
No, of course not.
Have you been? Well, so is he. So, and you're throwing around accusations. I feel like the only way you could actually prove that is if you were, having an affair with him.
Neither one.
Are you? Well, then you need to stop, because we're a fact-based, evidence-based. You want to just trash people, talk trash, and make up stuff? Call Sean Hannity. He likes that kind of stuff. Don't call me Ira. Bye. Have a nice day. Woo! I can't with that. He called up here insulting me. That's one thing on certain days. But you don't get to call up here look, I cannot, I have many problems with Melania and Donald. But I can come up with many facts that support my problem with them. I don't have to say Melania's a man and Donald's this or that. I can say Melania acts like she don't act like her husband. You can verify that with things you've seen on tape. I can say Donald Trump ripped off a whole bunch of people and claimed he was going to teach them how to get rich doing real estate with the Trump University, leaving many without their life savings. And that would be true and verifiable by fact. It's a reason why I don't like him. But by the way, it doesn't matter who I like. What matters is policy. What matters is the future of our country. Ira tried it. And I'll give you a certain amount of rope here because I do believe everyone should have a chance to talk. To a point. Charlie from Indiana, good morning.
Hey, Dominique, thanks for taking my call. I did a little bit of research on you on Wikipedia. Is your Wikipedia page accurate?
No, not entirely. But what's your point, Charlie? Are you another op?
I get it. What does op mean?
He's an op. He's an op. He's an op. All right, we'll continue our conversation with Charlie the op when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Tabitha Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
We're thrilled to announce that the Dear Future Wifey podcast is now available on the Urban One Podcast Network. This show, hosted by Latiris R. Whitfield, explores the journey of discovering and rediscovering love and relationships. With over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, Dear Future Wifey has become a prototype for discussions about love and relationships. Learn how to rediscover love, heal, and have faith in relationships. Go to urbanonepodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
All right, Charlie from Indiana, what you want to say?
Hey,
Charlie?
Dominique,
Yeah.
thank you for taking my call.
Did you Google op? Did you figure out what you were?
I think it means. Okay, I'm very white, but I think opposition. That means opposition, someone that's opposed to you, correct?
Yeah, usually someone that's sort of a not just opposed to you because you happen to have different viewpoints, but actually an opposition operative.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm not a big. You're over 40, correct?
Yes.
So am I. So I don't want to talk like street jargon. You're a suburban lady. You're very beautiful. So anyway, can I say
Suburban?
something about what
I live in
truly
LA,
do?
but okay. Yeah. I live in South Central, but I'll take suburban if you want.
So Well, okay, I'm looking at your Instagram page, and I noticed that you were at the Democratic National Convention, correct?
I certainly was.
Can I tell you, as a white person, what I specifically believe is going on within the Democratic Party?
Well, you're about to, I think.
No, I'm asking you. If you
Yeah,
want, you
go
can
ahead.
hang up on me. Can I get my?
Okay. See, I'll let people talk. I'm not like these scary Republicans who are afraid to let people with opposite ideas talk on their shows. I'm not that girl. I might argue with you, but I will let you talk. So go ahead, Charlie.
Did you just say you're a Republican?
No, I said I'm not like these Republicans who are too afraid to let somebody with ideas that challenge them on the air. You never hear people challenging these Republican talk hosts because they can't hold their own. I, on the other hand, can. Go ahead, Charlie.
So can I ask you, do you believe that ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, and I'd say almost 90% of the media, can you just admit at least 90% of them they're biased? They're going to promote the Democratic Party. They're basically going to slam. They're not going to have any sort of positive spin towards the Republican Party. Can you at least partially?
Here's what I will say, Charlie. I think if you listen to my show often, you know this. I believe all media is biased because I believe people can only see the world through their own eyes. The question is, are they being fair or not? ABC, NBC, and CBS, the major networks, have very strict rules for their reporters. Their reporters cannot do what I can do. They can't do what MSNBC does. And CNN is kind of back and forth. Like they've got a new news boss who's much more conservative, so you'll notice now they have a lot more Republicans on the air, and people like Don Lemon are gone, who tended to do more opining. When you have Fox and MSNBC, they're out front with their bias. Whereas if you work for the New York Times, ABC, NBC, CBS, you have strict guidelines as a reporter of what you're allowed to say and not say. So they do their best to be fair. Those, I think, still have a conservative, moderately conservative, not an extreme Trump MAGA agenda, but they're certainly more on the conservative side. What they call the left, I call the middle. What they call the right, I call fascism.
Okay, did you notice how when I asked you a question, I very politely, I allowed you to explain your position. I did not interrupt you once.
Guess what, Charlie? It's my show. So that argument ain't going to fly. What's your next point?
Okay, so here's my point. This is what I believe. Can you at least admit that Joe Biden is not in control of the United States of America?
I do not admit that. He is the president of the United States.
Oh, please, Dominique, please.
Give me some evidence. Evidence that he's not. Now, do I think...
Dominique, he's been on vacation for the last 2 weeks. Dominique...
Well, okay. And Donald Trump spent most of his term on vacation. What's your point?
Oh, please. Oh, Dominique, I don't get it. Here's what I believe. I believe that the Barack Obama and Michelle Obama administration has a strong influence who's currently in control of the U.S. presidency right now. Here's what I think. I think that Michelle Obama truly hates the fact that African Americans, blacks, were enslaved. This is time, their time.
You don't hate the fact that we were enslaved? That's fine with you?
Oh, no. I do. Can you let me explain?
Go ahead.
Absolutely 1 billion%. But here's one thing that's never taught in history. Who sold blacks to the Europeans?
Europeans, Arabs, and some Africans.
No. Black.
My dear, I'm an expert on this, and that is, I am an expert on this.
You won't talk about it. Go ahead. You won't discuss that.
We're discussing it right now.
Sold black. Go ahead. You talk.
Thank you for allowing me to talk on my show. That's that's really big of you. Now, I'm actually quite an expert on that particular point, Charlie. And the main slave traders inside of the African continent were European, Arab, and yes, there were some. Hold on. Don't make me mute you, honey bunny. All right. There were some Africans who were complicit in the slave trade. I've seen the evidence of this with my own eyes. However, their understanding of what enslavement was the way they do it in Africa, which is you take your, enemy combatants that are captured and they become part of your household. Yes, they have to work, but they're not beaten, stripped of their language. They're not raped. They're not considered subhuman. So even though they were complicit, and that's not a good thing, they were not fully aware of what they were selling these folks into. So, I mean, and I also think folks like you who want to assuage their own consciences like to make it much bigger and try to blame Africans for the sale of Africans rather than dealing with the reality that the slave trade was a massive profit center for Europe and Arab nations.
Who sold blacks to the Europeans?
Europeans, Arabs.
Well, blacks did. My God, what is wrong with you, lady?
What's
Please,
wrong with me is I read my
Africans-
history. That's why.
No, ma'am. Africans sold their own people to the white Europeans. Africans
That happened in some cases, but the vast majority of slave traders, and I've seen photos, my dear, because in the Arab world, slavery went on much longer than in Europe.
Oh my God. You're acting like white people just walked over to Africa and said, "We're going to take all you people." No, they sent.
That's pretty much what happened.
Blacks are available.
No, that's pretty much what happened. Y'all just sailed up, set up shop. There are slave castles all over the country. I've been to many of them myself, and they were run by Europeans, Spaniards, Portuguese, English, Dutch. Their language and their institutions are still present. Why? Because they came in, invaded, and stole people, and not just people, resources, which in many cases, i.e. the case of the French, they continue to steal to this day.
Okay, can you at least admit that Kamala Harris's family owned black slaves?
Kamala, comma, and then law, comma, and then law. And why do you insist on saying her name wrong? And what is this talking point? Her father is Jamaican. He's black. Her father is black Jamaican. Her mother is Indian, from India. So, you know what, Charlie? The talking points, nice try, though. I'm sorry our history gives you a headache. Call again anytime. Let's go to Deb calling us from Compton.
Okay. Good morning, Dominique.
Is it Troll Tuesday? I thought it was Talking Point Tuesday, but now it's Troll Tuesday.
Dominique, I commend you. I applaud you for your patience, for your determination to allow those particular people to call in, and then you get the opportunity to provide real education and dismiss all of their myths and talking points and most of all lies. I commend you. I really do. I don't understand what his point was, because at this point, my question, when I've had someone say that to me, well, you know, slaves sold slaves, and I simply asked them, and what does that have to do with the building of America and the way that enslaved blacks were treated here? What does that have to do with anything? And then they give me the deer in the headlight look, because they can't comprehend what I'm telling them. I don't care if blacks if Africans shipped Africans over here on a ship and said, "Here, take these people." It has nothing to do with rape, mutilation, humiliation, and just downright inhumane treatment. So when he calls with that nonsense, I have to go back to Miss Claire Price. Thank you, Granny. When you're talking to a fool, you are wasting your time. But I understand you have to do it, Dominique. But that person, that's a time waster right there. He'll never get it. He'll never see it.
Do you think, Deb, because I kind of go back and forth on this, do you think that it helps equip us with ways to counteract those points? Or do you think it's just a straight black hole, like taking away our time for no benefit?
with someone like him, it is truly a waste of time. He's already in his 40s. He said he's over 40. I'm sorry. He said he is over 40. So if he still has that mindset, being over 40, we could go ahead and put him in the category of don't even try it. Don't even worry about it. Just let it go.
Just block it.
Just let it go.
I mean, I hear you, and I think you may be right. I just always think, I don't think I'm going to get through to that dude, Charlie from Indiana. But what I'm thinking is that maybe some of the things that we go over would help you when you're talking to your relative or friend who holds some of those talking points. So, this right-wing talking point that because you might have a slaveholder in your family tree, which most African Americans do to some extent, that means that you're not black. No, that is actually the shameful legacy of our enslavement. These are the kinds of things that we have to discuss. But I don't know, Deb, can you stay with me?
Sure.
We got news, traffic, and sports right here. And I've been back and forth about this. Do we give them the mic or do we shut them the heck up? We have the choice. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump is considering attending a fundraiser at his New Jersey golf club to raise money for January 6th rioters. It's set to be held on September 5th at Trump's Bedminster Golf Club. Around 500,000 illegal immigrants married to American citizens will have to wait at least a couple more weeks for a chance to gain legal status. This after a federal judge in Texas moved on Monday to block the Biden administration's program for 14 days. In Washington, D.C., Howard University Hospital has named a new president. African-American Roger Mitchell Jr. will take over the role next month. Mitchell is currently the chief medical officer for the Howard University Faculty Practice Plan. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Coco Gauff got off to a good start Monday in defending her U.S. Open tennis title. The 20-year-old African-American star defeated Varvara Gracheva of Russia in straight sets. Gauff, the number 3 seed at the U.S. Open, moves into Wednesday's second round. Gauff plays Tatiana Maria of Germany at 9 a.m. Gauff won her first Grand Slam title when she won last year's U.S. Open. The Dodgers and Angels are back in action tonight after a day off on Monday. The Dodgers are at home for the start of a 3-game series against Baltimore. The Angels are in Detroit to try to snap a 5-game losing streak. ESPN rounded up a few experts to rank the top 100 NFL players entering the 2024 season. Here's the top 5. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, and Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company. History is being made. LA Civil Rights and the LA City Reparations Advisory Commission is about to unveil a groundbreaking reparations report. Come learn more about the impact of the Black experience in Los Angeles. Join us on Tuesday, August 27th, 5 p.m. at CSUN's Student Union for the official release and panel discussion. For more information, call 213-978-1845 or visit laisforeveryone.com. Again, laisforeveryone.com. Be part of this monumental moment. With reported hate crimes rising in recent years, California has responded through outreach efforts across state government and in collaboration with community-based organizations for the launch of CA versus Hate. This non-emergency, multilingual hate crime and incident reporting hotline provides an anonymous reporting option for victims and witnesses of hate acts reported in 15 different languages through the online portal and in over 200 languages when calling the hotline. Report anonymously by calling 833-866-4283, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or online at any time at cavshate.org.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. That is wild. Okay, so I can see from the chat that perhaps it's they promoting self-hate among black people, that we need to blame black people for all of our problems and take the onus and responsibility off of the people that made the lion's share of profit and continue to profit off of our enslavement, discrimination and exploitation. And the other piece is, to undermine reparations claims. Now, I've said that Europeans owe reparations to African Americans, Africa's children throughout the diaspora, because people from Africa were enslaved, throughout the Arab lands, through the Caribbean. Brazil has the largest population of black people outside of Africa because they were shipped there by white folks to be slaves, okay? To function as slaves, to be enslaved. They want to take the responsibility off of themselves. They want us to start blaming each other. So, yeah, Europeans owe reparations to Africa for the children that they stole. They owe reparations to us. America owes reparations to us. These private corporations also owe reparations to us. Oh, did we lose Deb? Deb, call me back, 800-920-1580. I wanted to let you land on this. And it's also true that some specific African nations may owe us reparations as well. And I believe we have a birthright in that continent. If my great-great-great-grandfather was from Benin, say, and I was stolen from Benin, then I missed out on my inheritance, whatever that was, that land, the cow, whatever it was. How do I get that back? So it's a multi-layered phenomena, and yeah, homeboy just simply wasn't ready. But as I said, we'll be talking about reparations while we're on this enslavement thing. We'll be talking reparations today at Cal State Northridge. Ooh, I'm having a bad hair day today. Okay, well, it happens to the best of us. Today at Cal State Northridge, I'll be there. Doors open at 5. The program starts at 5:30. It's free. The LA Reparations Commission will be unveiling their findings. Also, the Assembly is looking at 3 different bills tomorrow, voting on 3 different bills on the floor of the Assembly. These are the bills coming out of the California Task Force, 3 of them. They're important ones. We've got to get this stuff passed in order to keep the momentum going in other states. So if you have a chance to weigh in, if you're like me and you already know your Assembly member is voting yes on these bills, then email a Republican or email Robert Rivas, the head of the leader of the assembly, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go to Fred from L.A. Right, said Fred. Yes, it's definitely a Troll Tuesday. Why did you leave me, Deb? Why did you leave me? Hi, Fred.
Hello, Dominique. Yeah, three things. Well, actually, one important, reparations. But I saw the Democratic convention. I looked at it in and out. And I saw a bunch of starry-eyed fools with a racist agenda. And then, and I'll be calling you about that.
Okay, wait, hold on. Starry-eyed fools. So I guess that's Barack Obama, Leon Panetta, Adam Kinzinger, Michelle Obama. Everyone on the stage was a starry-eyed fool to you.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah, okay, right.
And Steve Kerr needs to stick to winning basketball.
Okay, he needs to shut up and dribble. Okay, and then so they're all starry-eyed fools in your opinion. Got it.
That's correct.
I could venture to guess that many of those starry-eyed individuals are a bit more accomplished than you or I, Fred. But okay, next point.
Yeah, but I'm very well accomplished and more so than all of them because I
grew
up on welfare and became a self-made man.
Same.
But anyway.
What's your point?
Okay.
So did Michelle Obama,
okay,
except for she's a self-made woman. What's your point? I don't think you've been first lady, or I don't think you. Okay. Do you have a law degree?
Yeah, she
Didn't think so.
She came from a rich family. She came from an intact
no,
home. She had all the advantages.
No, she did not come from a rich family. She came from. You clearly haven't read her book. I have. Anyway, Fred. Next point.
Okay, yeah. You guys, they keep talking about about the price of home, low-income home. I just got my homeowners in policy right in front of me. I went and dug it out. It's $237 a square feet. So there's no such thing as low-income or low-cost housing. You're going to build 1,000 feet. That's going to cost you $237,000.
So what's your solution, Fred? Okay, I've heard these talking points a lot of times from you. So what's your solution? There's no such thing as low-cost housing, so let them die on the streets? Is that your solution?
That's the way it works. But let me.
Okay, have a nice day, Fred. No, you know what? Deb had a point. Y'all not sucking up all of my time with these Republican talking points today. Call me back next week with another talking point. One a week is about what I'm ready to deal with, Fred. Dwight from Compton, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning. Boy, like you said, it's Troll Tuesday, huh? I just want to give you your flowers, Dominique. Thank you for taking us to the DNC convention. You did a great job. Thank you for taking us to Africa. You did a great job taking us with you to Africa. And thank the USA Olympic team for all for the medals that won and those who didn't win medals. I just want to say, USA, USA, USA. We stole all the praises that the Republicans thought they only owed. We weren't Americans, I guess. I guess only Republicans are Americans. We're not patriotic. I guess only Republicans are patriotic. This is our country too, Dominique. Like you said, we are patriotic Democrats, and these Republicans are just upset because they're being exposed for their racism. And racism now seems to come with black faces on it, too. So, Dominique, thank you. Thank everyone there at KBLA for giving us a voice, and I love our country.
Okay, Dwight, before you jump off, I want to talk, I want to unpack that a little bit because I'm sure, you've heard some progressives, and this is one of the progressive talking points that I wanted to take on, saying that they were appalled. And Juan Gonzalez on Democracy Now! Was saying this. I might play it at some point. Saying that they were appalled to hear us chanting USA, USA. Taps was talking about it yesterday. And if you, and I know you do, Dwight, if you're a person that's been part of my delegation, whether it's on Street Science Front Page or here on First Things First, you know that I've always said this. I do not believe we leave religion or patriotism to the right. 12 generations of my people built this place with no pay. We bled. We gave our babies. We gave our blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, for me, and I'm following Frederick Douglass's example when he says, a great patriot is one who tries to fix what's wrong with their country. I never have thought we leave patriotism to them. Now, I understood what Tavis was saying yesterday, that it sounded like nationalism because we're saying USA. When Donald Trump says USA and he's surrounded by a bunch of guys who left their Klan hoods in the car, That is white nationalism. That's different. What we are displaying, would that be black nationalism? Because I'm black. I'm not a black nationalist. I'm an internationalist, a Pan-Africanist, a reparationist. But when I say USA, USA, I'm talking about the country that I love, the country that my ancestors built.
Right. Exactly, Dominique. And our ancestors built this country from picking cotton to building the White House. So I don't want to hear all this BS about we don't have rights to say USA, USA. Our ancestors paid the price for us to say USA, USA. You can't take our birthright away from us, and you owe us money. You owe us 244 years of free slavery that you didn't pay one penny for. So we want our pay. We want our pay.
Yeah, the debt that's owed. The debt that's owed, Dwight. And see, here's the thing. I understand also this idea that we're having an election and we're having a convention while bombs continue to rain down in Gaza and Ukraine is still at war. And, you know, while this massive injustice that Israel is meting out upon the Palestinian people is happening, while children and babies are being slaughtered with our bombs and our money and our name. I get that, and I hate that so much. But that doesn't mean that I don't. That doesn't mean I step away from my love of country or my love of God. It just means I have to fight even harder to make it right. Say again.
You can respect both people.
And we can say we don't want that done in our name. When I chant USA, I'm not saying, yeah, USA, keep bombing Gaza. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, yeah, USA, let's be what our Constitution promised us we were going to be. Let's be a real multiracial democracy. That's the USA that we are building. I love the black people. I love all the people. I love the music, the culture, all the things that actually make America great.
And Dominique, look how they love the people that attacked us on 9/11. Now, Saudi Arabia owns the PGA golf tournament, and Donald Trump's going to have a golf tournament for the people that attacked the Capitol on January 6th at a LV. They just changed the LIV. You know, they don't want to actually say eventually they'll just change everything to LIV or change everything back to PGA. So how are they going to have an attitude and they kissing up to the Saudi Arabians who attacked us on 9/11? So, you know, Dominique, they so full of it. They can't even admit that we won the 2020 election and they attacked the Capitol on January 6th. That's the first question I would ask all the time. Did you attack the Capitol on January 6th? And is Joe Biden our legitimate president? If they can't answer that, then I don't even want to talk to them, Dominique. But, Dominique, I love you. Thank you for your show. Thank KBLA for being the voice for our community. And when Republicans face the fact that they are backing a domestic terrorist to be elected again, when the 14th Amendment says if you attack the government, you can't even hold another government office. So until they admit they faults, don't look at us. Sweep around your own front door, Republicans, before you try to sweep around the Democratic front door.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dominique.
Well said, Dwight. So I think that I'm not saying I told you so, but what I am saying is that I've been talking about this for years. We are progressive patriots. We do not have to lose our politics to love our country. We do not have to lose our moral center to celebrate our democracy and what we are challenging it to be. And what I'm seeing right now coming out of this convention is Republicans are discombobulated. They do not know how to deal with us claiming God and country. They don't know how to react to that because they're so used to us leaving all of that on the table for them to feast upon with their undemocratic, anti-American, anti-people agenda. And I love that the starry-eyed fools, to quote Fred, are flipping the doggone script. Put that in your pipe and tweet it. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, Let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what part politics play in our lives.
Questions about black voters, their disengagement, lack of information, and support or lack thereof for Democratic candidates have once again taken center stage as Democrats, Republicans, and independent candidates compete for this critical voting bloc. Will black voters abandon Democrats in this election, move historic numbers of votes toward the Republican nominee, or will they continue a decades-long trend of overperforming for Democratic candidates up and down the ballot? The stakes have never been higher for Black America. Tune in to KBLA's new show, The Black Pack, hosted by veteran political strategist Adrian Shropshire, every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for a breakdown of the issues, rhetoric, polling, and more this election year. It's The Black Pack with Adrian Shropshire, Fridays from 4 to 6 p.m. exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Yep, reparations in memory of our ancestors. Reparations now. Reparations is a debt owed to black people. Why am I saying all this? Because all roads are leading to that today. Today I'll be at Cal State Northridge at the Student Union. Doors open at 5. The presentation begins at 5:30. The City of Los Angeles will be unveiling the findings from their 18-month investigation through their reparations advisory commission. Meanwhile, tomorrow, the California State Assembly will be looking at 3 critical bills, and we want to urge them to vote yes on these bills. These are reparations legislation pieces that come out of the California Task Force 2-year investigation and their report and recommendations. All of these things are happening right now. Meanwhile, Republicans want to have it both ways. You heard the trolls calling. Charlie from Indiana saying that black people sold black people into slavery, not white people. Reminded me of that woman that somehow managed to stump Don Lemon one day on CNN, and he must have been tired or something, by saying that we owe reparations to British soldiers who shut down slaving ships and risk their lives. No, you're in the Army or the Navy. That's your job, to go risk your life to enforce the law, and that's what they did. They're not owed reparations for that. It's a dumb argument. But the fact is that Republicans want to have it both ways. They want us to blame ourselves for enslaving ourselves, to relieve themselves of the debt, guilt, and responsibility of America's original sin, on the one hand. On the other hand, some Republicans, many, will say, they want to say Kamala Harris is not black. You heard Trump saying that, as if he was the diviner or definer of anyone's blackness. But on the other hand, they're saying she can't qualify to be president because she is black. You're not black enough, you're black. You're too black. They want to use both of those arguments against the vice president at once. And the vice president has been smart enough not to fall for the okie doke and get caught up in that argument, but I will and I can, for those of you who are still worried about this. She told the Washington Post back in 2020, I am who I am. I'm good with it. You might need to figure it out, but I'm fine with it. In 2019, she said in an interview, she's born black, she'll die black, and, she's not here for disputing that. Well, the National Federation of Republican Assemblies is citing the Dred Scott Act of 1857 to assert that Vice President Kamala Harris does not qualify to be President of the United States because only natural-born citizens of the United States can be president. That's what the Constitution says. These same people say that Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley should not be appearing on the primary ballots because same decision. Well, the Dred Scott decision said no person that there's no right. I'm trying to quote it off the top of my head. Basically, it said that black people aren't citizens and they don't have the rights of citizens, and that the laws do not that protect other citizens do not apply to them. So they are saying an originalist and strict constructionist understanding of the Constitution would say that Kamala Harris is not a natural-born citizen with the rights of a citizen because she's black. Right? And under the Dred Scott decision, we black peoples got no rights. This is today. This isn't a Republican group, back in the day. In fact, back in 1857, Republicans would have been more likely to be on the right side of that equation. But that's long since flipped. Right? So these folks want to argue out of one side of Donald Trump's mouth that Kamala Harris isn't black and she's Indian and she suddenly turned black. Out of the other side of their mouth, they want to argue that she is not, she's not due the rights of a citizen of the United States because she is black. That should tell you everything you need to know. And we're not going to have time to go through all of these reparations conversations, so I guess you'll have to show up tonight at Cal State Northridge. But the recommendations are coming directly from the people who outline their own black experience in LA. Recommendation number 1, enact a resolution affirming the civil and human rights and protections of descendants of enslaved peoples. Well, certainly coming out of this Dred Scott argument against the presidency of Kamala Devi Harris, this seems necessary, doesn't it? Of course, it's a stupid legal argument that won't hold water, but nevertheless, they're making it. And these recommendations correspond to the specific areas of harm that were found in this report. So we're looking at vestiges of slavery right now. That's the first recommendation. Advance legislation prohibiting the erasure of African American history and the history of enslavement in Los Angeles. Now that's a splendid idea. And then maybe Charlie from Indiana and some others will have to read it and find out that they are wrong. Or maybe they already know they're wrong and they just want to lie. That's also a possibility. Fund government programs that address the culture of oppression and racial degradation. Maybe we'll dig into what that looks like a little bit more tonight at Cal State Northridge. Trust me, we will be revisiting this document. But next up, I'm looking forward to a conversation with a game-changing individual. It certainly had an impact on my life and the lives and careers of many others, including one Steve Harvey. I'm talking about Rashawn McDonald. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump is considering attending a fundraiser at his New Jersey golf club to raise money for January 6th rioters. It's set to be held on September 5th at Trump's Bedminster Golf Club. Around 500,000 illegal immigrants married to American